Hello everybody, it's Dragana from Saacibo. Welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited today. I am doing a video for the July collaboration that is called A to Z of Inspirational Summer Crafts, and it is hosted by lovely Rachel Bell Crafts, who kindly asked me to join the team of so many wonderful and talented creators and YouTubers. Thank you so much. The complete list of all the collaborators can be found below this video in the description box. There is a Linktree link that will take you to a page with a list of all the collaborators with live links to their channels or pages. There is a link there as well to the digital kit that we are using in this collaboration. There will be a new video coming out every day during the month of July, so check often to see which artist has a new video up. Also, please show them your support by visiting their channel, subscribing and liking their videos and leaving a comment. There is also a giveaway for this collaboration, and for more details, watch the launch video on Rachel Bella Crafts channel. I'm donating one of my inspirational packs, a journal making kit, so there is a chance that you can win it, among other things. All the participants of this collaboration were asked to make something new from something old that is inspired by summer and our favorite video or creator. And in addition, we were given a letter, and I got a letter H. But I really wanted to make a snippet roll closure for this journal, and I managed to do it and incorporate letter H, and later on in the video I'll explain how I do it. For my inspiration, I picked an old video from Stitches by Julia called Making Fabric Trim from Scraps, and I will leave the link below so that you can check it out. The reason I picked this particular video is because a few years ago, before I was so invested into junk journaling, I loved making fabric collages, and Julia's video got me inspired to start making snippet rolls, and for a while that was my passion. I took her idea and I built on it, and it became my way of artistic expression. So I had to acknowledge that. So Julia, if by any chance you're watching this video, I want to thank you. So I think I covered everything, and now we can proceed with the tutorial. Before we start, if you're going to make something like this for your own journal, you have to have that journal next to you, because you'll need to take the measurements of the journal to be able to make a closure for that journal fit properly. For example, here, as you can see, the parts where the string is where the papers are, and the rest starts here and finishes here. So the way I do it, I usually just open the cover up, and I take a strip of fabric. I'm going to use this tea-stained cotton piece, a linen piece, and I cut it just a tiny bit bigger than the actual cover, about 1 centimeter or half an inch bigger. Okay, and you need 2 of those, and I have 2 here. One is going to be where you make your design, and the other one is going to be to line it up. Another thing you need is a piece of elastic, and the way I work out how big this piece needs to be is to take the spine of the journal and fold this in half and make sure it's the right dimensions. Okay, so if you're making this for a really thick journal with a large spine, you'll need to cut more. If your journal is up to here, you'll have to cut this longer. Also, if you're making it for a smaller journal, you might do this, but then you don't go smaller than the size of the button that you want to use. For example, here, you can't make it a really small like this, because you won't be able to put the button through. So apart from those 2 strips and a piece of elastic, you'll need a button of some sort for the end. And I picked a few. I have this one and this altered one. I have a tutorial on how to alter buttons. These 2 fabric ones in that color, and I have a wooden butterfly button. So I can't decide now which one I'm going to use. I'm going to make the snippet roll first, and then I'll see which one works best. So I will decide on that later. I only picked a few that I think are good candidates. I have some scraps here. As you can see, these are scraps of fabrics that I probably used in other projects. I've got some stamped music on this. I've got some words here I might use. Just scraps. I also cut myself a piece of this lace that is kind of really similar color to this. It's a little bit lighter, but it's all right. And I want to have that as well. And then there's this one. I also cut a piece of that. I didn't cut it really straight. I will straighten it out, but it has this edge. And that green color is kind of similar to that. I want to have some of that as well. I have some lace flowers, pieces of lace, some yo-yo flowers, butterfly, more yo-yo flowers. There's a wooden flower. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of these or some of them or none of them. We'll see that at the end. We'll see how we go. And I have some little bits and pieces that I want to decorate my snippet roll closure once it's finished. So I will add these at the very end. So let's get started. So I'll take one of these strips and I place it. I'll just give you the dimensions. I forgot to do that. It is 2.5 inches. You can go smaller or larger. It's up to you depending on the size of the journal. We could probably see this one is 2 inches. This one's 2 inches. But because this is a larger journal, 2.5 inches, I think it's going to look good. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So we have a strip, and I said earlier that I want to use this purple lace. So I'm going to just place it there, approximately where I want it. And I have this piece, and I want it actually down the bottom, but as you can see, it's a bit too thick, so I'm going to just cut it. I'm placing it just a little bit on the inside, here and here, so they meet in the middle. And I'm just going to pin this in place. So I'll make sure they overlap. Just a few pins. I want to take this to my sewing machine, and I'll just zigzag stitch to catch those two together, because once I start adding other layers, they might move and it's going to annoy me. So I'd rather just stitch. You can also add some glue perhaps and avoid this part, but I prefer to just do the sewing. I just want to show you something. I'm using foot like this. It is open because I like to be able to see when I'm sewing so that I can control better what I'm doing. When you come close to the next pin, you take it out. I keep checking that everything is overlapping. I can now cut these excess bits off. So this is going to be our basic. Let's have a look what we have here. So one way of doing this is you select the pieces that you want to use, you have them on one pile, take this to your sewing machine and you just keep adding as you're sewing. But I just want to make sure that I have everything in the right order before I proceed. This process might take a while. I might even speed it up so it's not too long, because sometimes I just can't decide what I want to wear. And I'm going to do a bit of a ruffle. So I might use some of this throughout because it's green and blue. Got some of that lace. Might look good on top of white. It's the right color, but I don't know, it's a bit too thick. Oh, this is nice and light. It's just some thin fabric that I stamped on. Here we have some music. Oh, that's nice, this grey fabric. Maybe that would be interesting. Oh, I've got some of that white. So as you can see, I'm just placing them approximately. I just want to make sure I have enough. And I'm going to ruffle it up once I get to the sewing machine. More of the white with the words. I'm not sure. Maybe I can add some hope and happiness. This already looks like there's too much there, but when I ruffle it up, it's going to be much smaller. But I think some of this, and that would be it. Like I said, we can actually do this as we work at the sewing machine, or you can take some pins and secure it all before you start. But I usually don't do it. I just don't have time. I like to just do it in one go. So I'll take this to my sewing machine like this. You see how there's this empty area here where my sewing machine is? So if I was to do this, my snippet roll would fall down and everything will fall off. So I'm going to put something here to extend this. I'm just taking an empty box like this. I'm going to place it right there in front. Now it's all in the same level. Okay, and you'll need one of these, because as you feed it through, you don't want your fingers to be caught in it. Okay, I'll set again my needle to zigzag stitch, but not as wide as before. 2.5 stitch length and about 3 the width. Okay, so I'll just see. I hope you can see this. I'm just making a little like ruffle here. I'm just going to start, and then it will be easier. And I'm going to approximately place the foot in the middle. You can also do one layer and then add things in another layer if you have too many pieces. We'll add the words later on. There's a lot of layers, so make sure you don't brush this. So just do a little by little. And don't worry if you don't get all of these bits and pieces. Maybe you'll have excess in the end. That's fine. It's better to have more than not enough. It's so yummy. Beautiful. I forgot to put these beads, and we said we're going to add the words on top. So I just want to check first where I can put this. Maybe here. So I'll just stitch that on top. I want to add these words somewhere. Here, and I will do the words just with a straight stitch around. love it. Let's put away what we don't need anymore. Before we add any of the decorations on top, I want to complete the snippet roll closure, because if I'm going to go again through the sewing machine, I don't want to have all these bulky bits on top. Just going to quickly see what it looks like. Ah, I love it. Beautiful. Okay, so we need to have our button there in the front. That means that we are adding the elastic onto this end. Okay, so this is where the elastic goes, and I find where the middle is approximately. That is the middle, and I secure it with some clips. Just like that. So we'll add the button later, but our elastic should be on this side if the button is here. On the right, the elastic is on the left, and we know this is the right way because of the words. Okay, so now you take this extra piece and you place it on top. You go all the way here like this and you pin it. And we are going to just do a straight running stitch across here, just there. And then we go onto this side and we do the same. Make sure these ends are kind of where they should be, and you make sure you hold with your thumb here so that the elastic doesn't move when you unclip it. Okay. Let's check if the elastic is there. It should be. Yeah, it is there. Okay. We can always see it through here. You can, if it's not in the right spot, you can still move it. And I like to now put a pin on each side. That way it won't be able to move. Like that. And one on this side. You can tell here. Okay, now we go back to the sewing machine and we do a running stitch here and a running stitch there. Make sure you set your machine to straight stitch, zigzag stitch, and then just go about 1/4 of an inch or even less, 1/2 centimeter from the edge. It doesn't have to be really thick, as long as the two of these are joined together. Now we do the same here. Now we have this. That's the wrong side of our snippet roll, and that's the lining. So we just do this and that. And we have a neat edge on this side. And we have a neat edge here. Okay. So you just press that. You can add some clips if you want. And here as well. Okay, but you see now this is opening. And what you need to do now, I mean, you can glue this, but I like to just go and do a zigzag or straight stitch, joining these two pieces together. I actually went over that edge without turning the camera on, so I apologize. I got to about there, so I'm going to do this side, but I've done the other side exactly in the same way as I'm going to show you now. I just lift this up a little bit and make sure those two meet together, and you don't have to go all the way from the top. Okay, and you start with a small zigzag stitch, back stitch, and then you slowly work your way towards the end. Done that on this side, on that side, and where these ends are, I just did a straight stitch. I just want to show you the charms that I made. I have a tutorial on how to make charms from packaging. This is done in a similar way, although I haven't used packaging. I used a digital kit that we've been using in this collaboration. It's called Summer Bloom by Rachel Bella Crafts and Line Arrow. So I took some of the pages from the kit and created little charms. And since I got the letter H, I decided to decorate my snippet roll with little charms that are inspired by flowers that start with letter H. So here I have hydrangea, that's from the kit, and that as well. I added a charm, flower charm, and I had this little charm with H. And this is actually dried hydrangea flower. One of them, of course, they come in a big, like a massive flower, but they're with a lot of little flowers. That's one of the little flowers that I dried and laminated, so I thought that would look cute, perhaps here on this end. And then I had another little charm, I think this one, hyacinths. It says flower at the back. It's one of these. And I had this dragonfly charm that I really like, and since the theme is summer, dragonflies just started showing up again near my pond where the fishes are, and I love them. They're so gorgeous. And for this bit here, I put 3 holes, and I took one of the sentiments from here that says chase your dreams, and I just cut it into smaller pieces to have a charm like that. And I'm going to place that one maybe a middle where it's going to be on the spine. Okay, so I have one at the front, one on the spine. And then for the third one, you know, I was thinking this kit, one of these kits actually had a page with these beautiful hearts, and I wanted to turn them into charms, so I printed them 25% smaller. So I actually ended up with 4 times this in a page, like that. And then I cut them out with my die cuts to create little charms. And I just loved the one with sunflower, and I had this sun charm, and there was this sunflower tag here. It's here. And I had this is like some sort of weed that flowers yellow, but it's like a miniature sunflower, so I used it there, and I had a sunflower charm. But then sunflowers start with S. I couldn't wrap my head around it, and I just wanted to use sunflowers. And then I looked at one of my old journals, and I've done a full spread on sunflowers, and I've seen that the scientific name for sunflowers is Helianthus, and I just wanted it there, so I'm going to put it maybe here. Okay, so I just place these approximately like that, and now with these bits, I just want to see what looks good. I'm just going to play with it and see what looks good, and I have to decide which button to use. Okay, so I love to attach these bits with my hot glue gun. Okay, I'll put this away so they don't get all the strings from the glue. Move that a bit closer. Okay, let's start with the most obvious one. So you can certainly do this with a needle and a thread. Find that it works much quicker this way, and it's just as good. So I'm basically going over the stitch, and I'm not trying to go like in a straight line. I don't mind if it's a little bit kind of wavy. I love it. It's really, really cute. Let's just secure the button. Let me get my needle and thread. And I'm going to start from this side. Like that. And I'll just do this. That way it is not going to be undone. Okay, and then I go here. Place it where it's supposed to go. It's fiddly, I know. It has to be done like that. And then through here and then here. See? Okay, like that. And I will just go a couple of times. Before I end it, I'll just go through, but not through the hole, just here on the side. And I'm going to wrap this around and underneath and just do this. Okay, I'm going to do it once more. Okay, and then I'll go back here. And you just secure the knot. Okay, let's add the charms. Perfect. Maybe right there through the butterfly. I'll just go here. Perfect. Ah, this looks so luscious. I love it. Let's test it. So cute. Okay, it works perfectly. And we have plenty of room for the signatures. Look, it stretches. And this is supposed to be in the middle. And it is. Oh, I'm really happy with it. It's really pretty, I think. We have the butterfly and the charms. Okay, as you can see, it shrinks a little bit when you're sewing, but it doesn't matter as long as there's enough room here. Alright, thank you so much for joining me today and for watching, and I hope I see you soon in my next video. Bye for now.